Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. These words of Carl Jung remind us that so much of what we experience in love is influenced by unseen patterns, hidden motives, and shadows we rarely acknowledge. In relationships, it's easy to mistake intensity for destiny or passion for a meaningful connection. Yet sometimes what feels magnetic, inevitable, or even fated is merely a reflection of toxic dynamics quietly taking hold. Have you ever felt exhausted after a conversation, doubted yourself without reason, or noticed subtle behaviors that gnaw at your peace of mind? These are the moments where the unconscious shadows of your partner, or perhaps even your own unrecognized tendencies, begin to shape the trajectory of your heart. Love, when healthy, nurtures, uplifts, and allows both individuals to grow. Love that harbors toxicity, on the other hand, quietly erodes your sense of self while masquerading as devotion, care, or concern. This is what Carl Jung taught us about recognizing the hidden shadows in relationships. And today, we're going to uncover 5 clear red flags of a toxic partner that you must understand, not just to protect your heart, but to truly see the patterns that may be silently influencing your choices. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper awareness of the subtle yet powerful signs that reveal when someone is draining your energy, manipulating your emotions, or keeping you trapped in a cycle that isn't meant for your growth. We'll explore these 5 critical red flags, connecting them to Jungian insights about the human psyche, so you can recognize them early, regain your clarity, and make choices that honor both your well-being and your emotional freedom. So, stay with me as we dive into the hidden dynamics of love, uncovering the truths that often go unspoken, yet quietly define the health of every relationship you engage in. Carl Jung believed that relationships act as mirrors, revealing the hidden shadows within ourselves and the people we allow close to our hearts. He often emphasized that toxic or unhealthy individuals unconsciously expose parts of their own psyche that remain unintegrated, forcing those around them to navigate behaviors that drain, confuse, or manipulate. The first red flag of a toxic partner is constant control. This is the subtle yet relentless desire to dominate your thoughts, your time, and even your emotions. A toxic partner doesn't merely express opinions or make suggestions. They attempt to dictate the rhythm of your life, deciding what you should feel, where you should go, and how you should react. From Jung's perspective, this need for control reflects an unacknowledged shadow within them, a part of their psyche that has not been confronted, integrated, or understood, manifesting externally as domination over another person. For you, the observer, the signs are often quiet but persistent. Decisions that should be mutual are made solely by them. Preferences are overridden, and your sense of agency gradually erodes. The practical insight here is to watch closely. Are choices within the relationship shared, or does one person always hold the reins? Awareness of this dynamic is the first step in reclaiming balance and protecting your inner life. The second red flag is emotional drain. A toxic partner is rarely a source of nourishment. Instead, interactions leave you exhausted, depleted, and questioning your own stability. Whereas healthy relationships amplify your vitality, encourage your growth, and allow you to feel seen and supported, toxic connections absorb your energy, as if feeding an invisible void within the other person. Jung might explain this as a misalignment of the anima or animus, the life-giving energy exchanged between partners, where one person's unconscious wounds overshadow the potential for mutual support, turning intimate moments into emotional battles. The key here is introspection. Notice how you feel after conversations or shared experiences. Do you leave feeling uplifted, understood, and inspired? Or do you feel weighed down, doubting your choices and your worth? Recognizing these patterns is not an indictment of love itself, but an invitation to discern when care becomes manipulation, passion becomes control, and connection becomes consumption. By observing these early warning signs, constant control and emotional drain, you begin to see beyond the surface of affection, beyond the initial charm or intensity, and into the deeper currents of the psyche that shape the reality of your partnership. These insights are not meant to create fear, but awareness, empowering you to identify where boundaries are being crossed, where your energy is being siphoned, and where the unconscious shadows of another are influencing the course of your heart. Understanding these dynamics through Jungian psychology allows you to approach relationships with clarity, recognizing that while love has the potential to heal and elevate, it can also reflect the unhealed darkness within both partners. Awareness, as Jung taught, is the first step toward conscious choices, toward relationships that nourish rather than deplete, that respect autonomy rather than impose control, and that allow the full expression of both selves. By tuning into these patterns early, noticing the subtle signs, and reflecting honestly on your feelings, you arm yourself with the wisdom to navigate love consciously, rather than being swept along by unconscious forces that masquerade as devotion or care. Constant control and emotional drain are only the beginning, but by recognizing them now, you set the foundation for understanding the deeper complexities of toxic behavior, protecting your emotional life, and honoring the integrity of your own inner world. Continuing from the first part, the shadow within a toxic partner often emerges in more subtle, yet profoundly damaging ways. The third red flag is guilt-tripping and gaslighting, a form of manipulation that twists reality and forces you to doubt your own perceptions. A toxic partner may make you feel responsible for their mood, for conflicts that aren't yours, or for emotions that are theirs to manage. From Carl Jung's perspective, this behavior is an external projection of their own unacknowledged darkness, a shadow cast onto you so that they can avoid confronting their inner conflicts. The effect is disorienting. You may constantly question whether you are overreacting, whether your feelings are valid, or whether you are the problem in the relationship. The practical insight here is to observe your own patterns. Do you apologize more than is fair? Do you find yourself justifying your existence or feelings to maintain peace? Recognizing this manipulation is a crucial step in reclaiming your sense of reality and self-worth. The fourth red flag is isolation. A toxic partner often seeks to cut you off from friends, family, or any support system that could offer perspective or strength. Gradually, almost imperceptibly, they make your world smaller, so that their influence becomes absolute. Jung would argue that detachment from the collective self weakens the individual, making them more susceptible to the unconscious drives and demands of the toxic partner. In healthy relationships, love expands your life. It integrates you with your community, supports your independence, and encourages connections beyond the couple. Awareness is key. Notice if the relationship subtly discourages outside interactions, or if you feel your world shrinking, leaving only them at the center. The fifth and final red flag is devaluation. This occurs when a partner belittles your dreams, mocks your achievements, or consistently undermines your self-confidence. Rather than genuine feedback, these actions are expressions of their own unaddressed insecurities and feelings of inadequacy. Jung would call it a shadow that they refuse to confront internally. This constant undermining leaves you questioning your capabilities, your worth, and even your right to pursue happiness. The practical question to ask yourself is simple yet profound. Does this person push me to grow, or do they keep me trapped in a cycle of doubt and diminishment? Understanding devaluation as a reflection of their internal struggles rather than your deficiencies helps you maintain perspective and protect your own emotional health. Taken together, guilt-tripping, isolation, and devaluation form a pattern that can erode the very foundation of your sense of self. Recognizing these behaviors is not about judgment, but about clarity, seeing the reality of the relationship without the distortions of charm, love bombing, or the early intensity that often masks toxicity. Jung's insights remind us that unconscious shadows are powerful forces, and when projected onto those we love, they can distort affection into control, support into manipulation, and admiration into suppression. By tuning into these red flags, reflecting on how each interaction affects your energy and self-perception, and maintaining a conscious awareness of your own boundaries, you equip yourself to navigate relationships with both compassion and discernment. The path of love, informed by Jungian understanding, is not one of blind devotion, but of conscious engagement, where awareness allows you to distinguish between a connection that nourishes your growth and one that diminishes your spirit. Observing these three critical signs, in combination with the first two, control and emotional drain, paints a complete picture of toxicity, offering both protection and insight. It teaches you to honor your feelings, safeguard your energy, and cultivate relationships that reflect not just the light of love, but the conscious integration of shadows that allows both partners to thrive authentically. In the end, as we reach the close of this journey, it's important to pause and reflect on what we've explored. Jung reminded us that what we ignore in others often mirrors what we ignore in ourselves, and recognizing this is key to understanding the dynamics of any relationship. Throughout this video, we've uncovered 5 critical red flags of a toxic partner: constant control, emotional drain, guilt-tripping and gaslighting, isolation, and devaluation. Each of these behaviors, subtle or overt, serves as a mirror to hidden shadows, both in the person exhibiting them and in the ways we may unconsciously respond. If you notice these red flags, remember, love should never feel like a slow erosion of your soul. Walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. Choosing to honor your feelings, your energy, and your sense of self is an act of courage and clarity. Take Jung's advice and choose partners who help you grow, not those who keep you trapped in their shadow. Let this reflection guide you toward conscious love, where connection nurtures your spirit, challenges you to evolve, and allows both individuals to flourish authentically. Awareness and discernment are not acts of cynicism, but of self-respect, giving you the power to engage in relationships that truly align with your inner truth and emotional well-being.